Well, we heard from Martha Poby, who's the UN's top official on Africa. She called for a negotiated solution as soon as possible on the situation. She said the longer that this conflict drags out, the greater the risk that Sudan could break apart, that there could be foreign interference, and that the country's sovereignty could erode. She also expressed real concern about the situation in Darfur, particularly in West Darfur, where we've seen a lot of fighting. You know, the UN is very, very worried that this could spiral back into what we saw in the early 2000s in Darfur, all the ethnic violence that led to genocide there. So there's a lot of concern. And she urged tribal leaders and civilians and civil society not to take sides as they're being pressured to do, because she said that risks turning this into a civil war. And before we move on, I just want to note that she wasn't supposed to be the briefer today. Actually, it was supposed to be Volker Perthes, who's the head of the UN mission, the political mission in Sudan. And Mr. Perthes is not on great terms with the Sudanese government at the moment. They declared him persona non grata a few months ago at the start of the conflict. He's been operating from the Africa region, not from Port Sudan, where most of the UN is right now. And in fact, we were told today that the Sudanese government threatened to close down the mission if Mr. Perthes briefed the council. So Ambassador Linda Thomas-Greenfield, the U.S. ambassador, said that that was outrageous and that no country should be allowed to bully a briefer, or the United Nations in this case, into silence.
Margaret, thank you for that update. But we also hear of a dire humanitarian situation in Sudan, and I'm wondering whether that was addressed as well. How are they reaching, almost 24 million people right now suffering in that country?
Well, there's been some progress. We heard not a lot. They're trying to target about 18 million of that 24 million people. They've reached close to 3 million since mid-April when the fighting started. But there are bureaucratic delays, security problems. A convoy was only able to get to Khartoum in late June. That was the last time there was a convoy there to replenish supplies. And the first one went to Darfur last week. So it's been very slow. And the government of Sudan, the ambassador, said that they are ready to cooperate with the United Nations, that all the delays shouldn't be seen as obstruction, but just some of it as practicalities. But the UN said we need more visas for our staff and we need more security guarantees to reach the people in need.
Right. Margaret, thank you very much for that update. Margaret Besheer is VOA UN correspondent, reporting live for us there from UN headquarters in New York.